calling out my little ones. There's so many of you now, I can't even count. Well, somebody keeps asking me all these questions about my history, so thought I might as well answer some. You all seem very curious as to my time. Rome wasn't that exciting. Anyway, where do I start? How was Rome founded, Robin? There, so, the story of how Rome started. It's a very long story, but I'll make it a bit easier. There's an old legend I know, and it says that the city of Rome was started by a man called Romulus. When Romulus was very, very little, about the same size as you, Italy, he had a twin brother. There were two of them, Romulus and Remus. They were brought up by wolves in the forest. Now, they grew up happy, they were best friends, kind of like me and most of the other nations. But as they got older and older, they started to fight. And they came across this piece of land, and Romulus wanted it, and Remus wanted it. So the two brothers fought. It's not a very happy part of my history, but Romulus killed Remus, and then Romulus became the first king, which is why Rome is called Rome. But not all of the Romans lived in Rome. The city of Rome wasn't big enough for us all. There are about 50 million people in my empire, which stretched all the way from Britain to Africa. Everyone was protected by my armies, but they all had to obey my laws. Then somebody asked me who used to rule Rome. Over the years, Rome was ruled in many different ways. First by kings, then by a number of officials, and finally by the emperors, which is probably how you all know me. There wasn't always ruled. Very, very long time ago, I used to just exist. Most of the emperors were good, but there was some not so good ones. There was Nero, and he was mad and rather bad. Most people say he set fire to the city of Rome, but I don't know. It just hurt. Then there was Hadrian, who went around and visited everywhere. Went all the way to England, built a big long wall to keep out all those nasty pigs. You know Scottish people now there? I don't understand. And then there was Caligula, who went around and wasted everything. He thought he was a god. People used to think I was a god. Maybe I am. That would be nice. Anyway. There is one thing you might want to know. That Roman women didn't have the same rights as men. Not even me. I had to obey my husband or my father. Not that I always did, but I was supposed to obey the emperor, but I didn't always do as I was told. Whoever does those, they are told all the time. That would be very boring. There's so many questions. Who did the Romans worship? Well, Romans worshipped hundreds and hundreds of different gods and goddesses. They believed that the gods watched over them day and night. Some looked after the earth, some looked after the sea, some looked after funny things such as doorknobs and keyholes and plants. There were always special goddesses for fertility and having babies, and some of my gods cared for merchants or soldiers, and others watched over different parts of their lives, their health, beauty, love, most things really. The Romans liked to build temples for their gods as homes. Each god or goddess had their own temple, which was decorated with statues and carvings. They used to be so pretty. I used to like those temples. Well, there are a few gods that you might know, but I didn't steal from Greece. No, I didn't do that. There's Jupiter, who was king of the gods, and Juno, who was queen of the gods. And then there was Neptune, god of the sea, Apollo, god of the sun and of art, Mars, god of war, and Venus, the goddess of love. People used to think I was the goddess of love. You could ask most people I used to know. I think they might agree with you on that one. So many questions. Why are there so many questions? This is a good one. Who bought slaves, spices and silk? Well, the merchants travelled to the very ends of the empire and beyond to bring back goods for the citizens of Rome. As well as ordinary things like corn and timber, they used to bring back slaves from North Africa and spices from India and beautiful silk from China. China was very pretty, I got to go on that trip. That was such a long time though. Well, there are so many questions. Romano, this is one you might like. Did the Romans eat pizza? Well, every day the Romans brought hot pies and tasty treats, a bit like modern pizza from the eating houses and taverns in the busy towns. The pizzas were topped with onions and fish and olives, but not tomatoes. I don't even know what a tomato is. They were brought over from somewhere called South America about 1,500 years later, I don't know. It's like Romania doesn't know what a potato is. What on earth is a potato? Sounds like an insult. What language did the Romans speak? Well, everyone in Italy spoke Latin. And everywhere else in the empire spoke their own languages. But there were so many parts of the empire that people had to learn Latin so that they could all talk to each other. So most of your modern languages come from Latin, especially the English and the French and the Spanish, and even modern Italian. Anyway, you wanted to know why the Roman roads so straight? Well, the Romans were brilliant engineers. Before they built the road, they used measuring instruments to work out where the road should go. They chose the shortest and straightest route between two camps, forts or towns, and got rid of any hedges, buildings or other obstacles in the way. That used to include things that people had built like Germania and Scandinavia. I'm sorry about that. But the road builders put milestones along the road so that travellers had an idea of how far they'd gone. A Roman mile was about 1,000 paces long, which is about 1.6 kilometers in modern. I don't understand modern measurements. This is not something I'm that proud of. Who was thrown to the lions? Well, on special days, people flocked to the spectacular shows at the amphitheatre. Christians, criminals and slaves were thrown in a ring with lions, and they were chased, wounded and killed. The crowds cheered noisily. They thought it was fun to watch people suffer, but it seems a little wicked and cruel now. It really does, but we didn't mean any harm by it. We didn't think Christians were good. That did change. We didn't just do it with Christians and bears, though. Lions, leopards, crocodiles, Germanics, a few strange British people, most people, to be fair. What else do you want to know? Where can you visit the Roman town? Well, I didn't even know this still existed until a little while ago, but if you really want to know about Roman towns, this is probably the best place to go. There was a place called Pompeii, and Pompeii was very near a place called Mount Vesuvius, which was an active volcano, and it erupted. We didn't know it was going to erupt, it just went poof one day. as it erupted, thousands and thousands of tons of ash poured onto the people of Pompeii, and killing the people with all the poisonous fumes. Yeah, that made me very ill. That wasn't nice. But I suppose sometimes things are important, eh? Because even though Pompeii lay hidden for centuries, one day some farmers discovered its Roman remains. And if you go and visit it today, you can see what it would have looked like. Where I've been. They've done okay. They're nearly there. It just seems a little bit strange when everybody's speaking all these strange languages and I don't understand. My English is still not very good. But I can speak Latin. Hopefully somebody will be able to translate this video for you all so you understand. But I'm tired. All of these questions make me wear out. You always ask so much. But if you want to know more, then I suppose you could ask me more questions. I'd be happy to answer. Oh, and while I'm here, I really should apologize. There's been a few difficulties at the minute. I don't think Jemenia likes me very much. There may or may not be a new colony. It may be called the Holy Roman Empire. I don't like being in trouble, but it's so cute. Little bubble. I really should stop breathing. One day somebody will explain to me how this strange time thing works. And how you can see me through that little box. Don't ever stop confusing me. Anyway, I hope somebody speaks to me soon. It's getting rather boring. I'm stuck on my own again. I got into trouble. I'm always getting into trouble. But there you go. There's a little bit of my history. If you want to know any more, just ask me. I'll tell you everything.
Here it goes, here it goes, here it goes again.